Wife had an affair with our 22-year-old female babysitter. I'm 40 years old, and she's 35. We had two young kids, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. Everything felt normal, or as normal as it gets when you're juggling two toddlers and a decade of marriage. Then last October, things just went cold. She pulled away, not just a little, but like she was trying to create an entire ocean between us. Said she'd never been in love with me, never desired me in the sack. Hearing that from the woman you married, the mother of your kids, it's like a gut punch. It makes you wonder what the hell the last 10 years even were. Why marry me? Then, for the ring, the wedding, the kids, it felt like some kind of twisted checklist. For months, I walked around in a fog, trying to piece together what happened. Both our families were just as confused. They kept pushing us to go to therapy, like a few sessions on a couch could fix something so fundamentally broken. If she never loved me, if she never desired me, what the hell was therapy going to do? You can't build something from nothing. I knew, deep down, there was no coming back from that kind of admission. It stung, yeah, especially with the kids. But you can't force someone to feel something they don't. You just can't. Then February rolled around, and she finally admitted it. She'd hooked up with some guy in December. Shocker, right? And then, to top it all off, she'd been having an emotional affair with our 22-year-old babysitter. Still in college, a female babysitter. An emotional affair, she called it. I knew better. My gut was screaming that it was more than emotional. And yeah, I was right. It wasn't just emotional. It was a damn full-blown physical affair. Duh. Looking back, the signs were all there since October. I just didn't want to see them. A huge change in her behavior. She started buying new clothes, changing her music taste, getting waxed twice a month, changing her passwords on everything. She dyed her hair black, got a tattoo, and a nose ring, like a damn teenager going through a rebellious phase. Only she was 35 and a mother. Her new girlfriend, this babysitter, grew up in the hood, apparently. Complete opposite backgrounds. Yeah, opposites attract, I guess. Or maybe it was just a train wreck waiting to happen. She went on vacation last March to visit her friend in Miami, or so she said. I found out later she brought her girlfriend along. I was packing up some of her stuff to move out, trying to get through the damn process, and I found her Apple Watch. I picked it up, and a message popped up. Please print my confirmation info for luggage. 15 minutes before that, she'd walked out the door, hopped in an Uber Miami bound, and she wasn't going alone. She was going with the babysitter. It took me an hour, an agonizing hour, to scroll through the first message on that watch. I found out they'd been texting, lovingly, since early November. It was all so confusing, a blur of anger and disbelief. I don't even remember the exact timeline anymore. Whether the I don't love you came before or after all this started, it all just blended into one giant, fucked up mess. With two little kids, I was just completely blindsided. Didn't know what the hell to do. But one thing was clear. There was no coming back from this. They even got tattoos of each other's first initial on their wrists. My wife, who used to listen to Florence Plus the Machine, was now listening to Tussie, whatever the hell that is, some lesbian music. I guess it was wild. Men, just wild. I tried to chalk it up to a midlife crisis, or maybe some kind of personality disorder, anything to make sense of it. But in the end, there was only one thing to do. I filed for divorce, and good for me. I guess that was a couple of years ago, maybe close to 2. Fast forward to now. I posted an update recently, just to put it out there. We're divorced. Thank God. I've moved on with my life. But you always wonder, right? How things are going on the other side, with her and her little girlfriend. Quick recap for anyone just tuning in. Married for 10 years. Kids were 4 and 2. She checked out fast. Changed within a month or two. Had sex with some dude. Then hooked up with our 22-year-old daycare worker. They've been living together for about 2 years now. We separated 2 years ago. Divorced about 18 months ago. I'm 40, still in my prime. Got plenty of life left to live. Her, not so much. We're co-parenting. Surprisingly, and honestly, it's great. She's been really flexible with the scheduling, or maybe flexible with her girlfriend. Either way, I couldn't ask for a better co-parenting situation. That's a small mercy, I guess. Then she called me the other day about something with one of the kids, and then she started asking questions. Listen to these. Tell me what you think. Man, question 1, how are you doing? Question 2, I think I pulled the trigger too soon. What the hell could she mean by that? It's not like she was at a shooting range. Question 3, do you think you'll get married again? Question 4, I made a big mistake. Apparently, I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, but you were so easy to get rid of me, right? Said you didn't love me, never attracted to me. Too bad. Honey, you made your bed. Now lie in it. You wanted all you can eat sushi for the rest of your life, and you gave me and the kids up for it. Nope. Too bad. She then said, I have another question for you. And I just cut her off. I actually have to go to work. I said, work's calling, and I hung up. No guilt, no hesitation. Just hung up. My mom actually told me a few months back that my ex had texted her, saying she knew she'd fucked up. Either way, it doesn't matter. I've grown a lot in these last 2 years. I'm in a much better spot. It was a rough road, no doubt, but I grew a ton as a human being. I mean, that's obviously not how I wanted things to go. But you know what? I moved on. And again, how easily she cast me aside. Hooking up with a dude, then the babysitter. That's just screwed up. And then she jumped the fence, thinking the grass was greener. And now things aren't going so well on her side. Oh, I forgot one thing. A few weeks ago, one of my younger kids said that mommy and her girlfriend got into a big argument over seeing her phone. Then mom said a bad word and tried to take her phone. Sounds like trouble in paradise. Sounds like things are going rough back home. Oh well, I'm over on the other side of the hill, skiing towards a new life. And it's awesome. I've read somewhere that, statistically, the highest divorce rates aren't in heterosexual marriages, or even two dudes getting married. It's two women getting married. Lesbian divorces are the highest of all, I believe, and those girl-on-girl marriages also tend to have the worst. Bad things happen, if you will, getting physical, and not in the way you want to hear about. Anyhow, trouble in paradise. So things aren't going too well with his ex and the girlfriend. Now she's calling him up. Made a mistake. Pulled the trigger too fast. Blah, blah, blah. Too bad. Honey, some people were asking me things, and I said I wasn't really sure. My ex is very attractive, has a great career, and makes great money. Good for her on that. But her girlfriend is very, very, very unusual. She dresses like a boy, head sideways, not attractive at all. My ex could pull a smoking hot lesbian. Seriously, not sure what's next for her. My guess is they'll stay together for a few more years. Maybe, in every couple, hetero, two dudes, two chicks, gay, lesbian. There's always going to be the more masculine one and the more feminine one. That's why in lesbian couples, you'll have one that's more the lipstick type, looks more girly, and the other one that looks like a dude. Years ago, when I was a personal trainer at a gym, I had a client assigned to me. She was cool, but she obviously batted for the other team. And again, she was cool with me. She was the dude in the relationship. Short hair, jacked, strong as hell. She was strong. Man, I did boxing training with her. She could punch. She showed me a picture of her wife once, and I was like, God damn. She's hot, long blonde hair, beautiful, feminine. It just is what it is. Another guy I talked to agreed. Everybody likes the idea of marriage. The white picket fence, kids, soccer practice on Saturday morning, family vacations. But I think who you are when you're single is who you are when you're married. If you have low values, you bring that into the marriage. Too many people think that marriage and family will fix their problems and make them happy. They do all the right stuff. Date, get married, have kids, then get annoyed, unhappy, and divorce. All the guys out there that have been divorced are like, get the fuck out of here. Marriage won't make things better. And the last one, talking about her family, just shows the acorn doesn't fall far from the tree. My honest opinion, if there's a fracture in her relationship, is that she has regret. She knows she messed up and realized the grass isn't greener. Her dad did the same thing she did. Cheated on her mom when she had 3 young kids, with a few women, then married his affair partner, then divorced just 7 or 8 years later, something around that time frame. I know because he called and told me that when she was pulling out of the marriage, he said it was the biggest regret of his life because of the pain it caused his family. My ex never hated me. Apparently, she wasn't happy, though now it seems like she's not happy again, because they're never happy. Let's be honest here. Rare is it that you're going to find a woman that's truly happy. There's always bitching and complaining about something. So many guys have it in their head that they can fix things, make them happy. Happy wife, happy life. Any guy who goes around with that happy life mentality deserves to be smacked upside the head, because it's never going to happen. They're never going to be happy. And the more you try to make them happy and sacrifice your happiness, you're only going to piss them off more. You've got to take care of you. But anyhow, guys, there you go. You wait long enough. You've been done wrong. You're going to have the last laugh. It's only a matter of time before they reach out to you. They want a second chance when things don't go well. It had been a rough road, but I was out of the fog. The calls from her, the little questions, they just bounced off me now. I used to agonize over every word she said, trying to decipher some hidden meaning, some way to fix things. Now, it was just noise. My focus had shifted entirely. My work, which had suffered for months while I was in that hell, was finally getting back on track. I'd put in the extra hours, taken on new projects. My boss, a good dude who'd seen me through some shit, had been patient. He knew something was up. Didn't pry. Just offered support when I needed it. It felt good to be productive again, to channel that energy into something that actually yielded results, rebuilding my life. I'd also started hitting the gym hard again. It wasn't about looking good for anyone else. It was about feeling good for myself. The physical exertion was a release, a way to burn off the residual anger and frustration that had built up over the years. I remember one day, I was on the bench press, pushing out reps, and I just felt this surge of pure, unadulterated strength. It wasn't just physical, it was mental. It was the feeling of taking back control, of saying fuck you to everything that tried to break me down. My body was getting stronger, my mind sharper. I was sleeping better, eating better. The dark circles under my eyes were gone. I was starting to look like myself again, or rather, a better version of myself. My male friends were a huge part of the recovery, too. They didn't try to give me flowery advice or tell me how to feel. They just listened. We'd grab beers, watch the game, shoot the shit. They'd been through their own battles, some with wives, some with exes, some with just the general grind of life. There was an unspoken understanding, a shared acknowledgement of the bullshit men sometimes have to put up with. We'd talk about work, about the kids, about getting older. One of them, Mark, had gone through a nasty divorce a few years back. He'd seen all the manipulation tactics, the gaslighting, the emotional games. He just kept telling me, "Men, trust your gut. If it feels off, it is, and don't let anyone make you feel bad for taking care of yourself." His words resonated more than any therapist ever could. They kept me grounded when my ex tried to drag me back into her drama. The kids were doing well, too, which was my biggest concern. They adapted quicker than I thought they would. Kids are resilient. They love both parents, and as long as they feel safe and loved, they bounce back. We had our routines, our special times together. Being a dad was still the most important thing, and now I felt like I could be a better one. I wasn't constantly stressed or walking on eggshells. I could be present, really present, with them. That was a huge relief. The call that changed nothing. The calls from her kept coming, sporadically at first, then more frequently. After I hung up on her that one time, she'd wait a few days, then try again, always with the same kind of questions, laced with regret, hinting at wanting to rewind time. "How are things really? With you?" she'd ask, trying to sound casual, like we were just old friends catching up. "Things are good." I'd say, short, to the point, no need to elaborate, no need to give her an inch. "I've just been thinking a lot about everything." She'd inevitably pivot, about us, about how quickly it all went down. My gut would clench, but I wouldn't let it show. "Yeah, well, things happen fast when people make certain choices." I wasn't being mean, just factual. I wasn't going to sugarcoat it for her. She'd sigh dramatically. I made such a mess. Didn't I? I really messed up." This was the part where she expected me to rush in, to offer comfort, to tell her it wasn't so bad. That was her pattern. Create a crisis, then play the victim, waiting for someone else to come in and fix it for her. But I wasn't that guy anymore. "You made your choices," I'd say, my voice flat, "and you're living with them, just like I'm living with mine." That usually shut her up for a bit. She'd try a different angle, usually involving the kids, but I'd keep it strictly about them, no personal stuff. No room for her to inject her self-pity or her current drama. "Trouble in paradise?" continued. The funny thing was, the more I pulled away, the more she seemed to want to connect. It was like a switch had flipped. When I was trying to hold on to her, she pushed me away. Now that I was thriving, now that I was genuinely happy without her, she was circling back, typical, a few months after our last conversation. The kid came home from her place with a fresh story. "Mommy and babysitter's name had a big fight," she announced, completely oblivious to the weight of her words. Mommy cried, and babysitter's name packed a bag and left. My heart didn't jump, didn't even flutter. It was just information, confirmation of what I already suspected. The grass wasn't greener. They were probably fighting over money, or shared responsibilities, or maybe the babysitter was just tired of her shit. My ex was the type to spend freely, especially when it was someone else's money or effort she was living off. I imagined the babysitter, fresh out of college, probably wasn't making enough to fund my ex's lifestyle. Plus, my ex always needed external validation, always needed to be the center of attention. I bet the babysitter couldn't keep up with that. I just nodded, listened to my kid, and changed the subject to something light. No need to dwell on her drama. It wasn't my problem anymore. The last laugh. The divorce was final. The papers signed. My finances were secure. I had learned a lot about protecting my assets, about distinguishing between genuine obligations and manufactured expectations. I'd seen how easily my financial stability could have been undermined if I hadn't pushed back. It was a cold, hard lesson, but a necessary one. I went out with Mark a few weeks later. We were at a bar, just having a few beers. He saw me staring off into space, probably thinking about everything, still thinking about her. He asked. Not judging, just observing. I shook my head. Nah, not really. Just, it's weird, how easily you can get caught up in someone else's storm. And then, when you finally pull yourself out, you see how ridiculous it all was from the outside. He nodded, taking a swig of his beer. Yeah, that's the clarity, brother. Once you're out of the chaos, you see the patterns. You see how much you let slide, how much you tried to fix someone who didn't want to be fixed. She called me again yesterday. I told him, wanted to know if I was seeing anyone, said she missed our conversations. Mark just snorted. Bullshit. She misses what you provided. She misses the stability. She misses having someone to blame when her own life goes to shit. Don't fall for it. Man, I won't, I said, and I meant it. It wasn't about being angry anymore, or wanting revenge. It was just clear. I saw her for exactly who she was. The emotional artifice, the refusal of accountability, the constant need for validation. I could recognize the manipulation tactics now, the subtle shifts in her voice, the manufactured vulnerability. She used to wrap me around her little finger with that stuff. Not anymore. I trusted my gut now. When something felt off, it was off. I'd spent years trying to make her happy, trying to fix things, sacrificing my own peace of mind. And for what? For her to run off with someone else, then come crawling back when things didn't go her way. No thanks. I valued my long-term stability and respect over any temporary peace her presence might offer. My well-being was my priority now. Without guilt, without apology, the last laugh. Yeah, I was having it, not because I wished her ill, but because I was thriving. I was healthy. My kids were happy, and I was finally living a life where I wasn't constantly walking on eggshells. It was a damn good feeling, and it was all mine.